Our next match of the day features Heritage and Reynolds Mountain. Reynolds Mountain gets the first point on that tip across. They will be in those, I call them the Seattle Seahawks uniforms.
Yeah, take another look at this little back.
Yep, nice little tip across. So the Seahawks uniforms to the right and the Heritage, the red, white, and blue to the left as we get underway here in set one. And now a 2-0 lead for Reynolds Mountain. And you'll see here just a nice little tap across to an open spot. Once again, 2 sets to 25, don't matter what. This is not best of 3. This is just pool play, so you take each set individually. That is in along that back line. So the ace makes it now 3-0, although there's not a score on the scoreboard yet. It is 3-0.
Boy, they just painted that line. Nice placement.
And by the way, back serving is McClendon for Reynolds Mountain. Alina McClendon. Setting to that back row. By the way, she's the big hitter for Reynolds Mountain. And she can hit from that back line, too, just as much as she can hit from the front line. And that is just out off the back line. Make it 3-1. You'll get a look here. And it's just, by
close.
A couple inches off that back line. Serve plate back on the near side. No.
John, it's good to have you back. What did you think about? Did you get a chance to? Were you too tired to get a good look at the jack-o'-lantern last night?
To be quite honest, I didn't really take much of a look at anything.
That's disappointing.
I will take a look at it today, though.
I don't fault you for it, but it's kind of on its last leg. So I carved it last week, and I'm just getting educated to the fact that they have a certain lifespan after you carve them, especially when you're doing those really fancy carvings that I was so proud of. It's like a cute little owl with the letters Boo, B-O-O, around it. And I've already had to,
prop it up?
Yeah, I've had to put some support systems.
Of course.
Little metal rod in there to support.
We go every year and buy pumpkins and stuff. As that hit out of bounds on the far side, and we'll make it now 7-1. We go every year and buy pumpkins and things. And I bought this huge one this year. It's probably bigger or as big as my son. It's 3-4 feet tall. It's a big, tall, skinny one. We were talking about it weighed like 35 pounds when I got it. We were talking about carving that, and I'm like, who am I kidding? I don't have the time or the energy or the creativity to carve this thing.
Well, I cheated. We got a kit, so I kind of had a pattern. Couldn't have done that from scratch, but that was a pattern my son picked out. So I'm crediting him with the jack-o'-lantern. I just don't think it's going to make it until Halloween.
I don't think you're going to get that far. 7-3 is the lead for Reynolds Mountain as Heritage continues to serve here. And that's out of bounds. Service arrow given back to Reynolds Mountain. And back to serve is Kristen Williams, 5'6" junior. That goes into the net. Make it 8-4.
So would it be fair to call the flats you came in on the red eye? Almost.
Almost. It might as well have been.
You had some red eyes by the time you added that drive on the end.
Serve here is kind of played back to the middle, and it'll end up being a point for Heritage, making it 8-5. I went to work yesterday at 7:30 in the morning.
And you're an athletic director for a school in Illinois, close to Chicago.
Yep, we're just off the edge of the southern suburb of Chicago. We're about an hour from Chicago. And So this falls in, make it a 9-5 lead for Reynolds Mountain. As into the lineup comes Samantha Lale, and she will serve here. But I worked there from like 8 to 4 yesterday. My flight was at 8 o'clock. I forgot my clothes. And I had part of them, but I wanted to change into something else, and I forgot my change of clothes. So I had to drive back home and get that. I got to the airport at, I don't know, 6:15 or something like that. Got on my flight at 8. Got to Atlanta at 11. Luckily enough, by the way, for those of you who have ever flown in and out of Atlanta, it's a nightmare.
That's what I hear.
I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But every single time I go there, I always have an experience with rental cars. As this hit out of bounds off that back line by Williams. And this time around is the only time that that's worked perfectly. I walked in, no one at the counter, walked up, got my car, left, and we're all within about 10 minutes. I was shocked. Usually it takes me like an hour and a half. That hit out of bounds, make it now 9-8. But I will tell you this much. I got the last car that they had. The last car at the counter I was at, and then the lady I was talking to there were 3 or 4 other counters right next to them. None of them had any cars either. So if my flight would have come in an hour later, who knows? I might have been sitting there for 6, 8, 10, 12. I mean, I can't imagine there's too many people returning cars at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that was interesting. But, yeah, it actually went halfway decently. I got here much earlier than I thought I would, which was whatever that was, 2:30 or 2:45 in the morning. So it's been a long 36 hours, let's put it that way. And then about 3 hours of sleep last night, and we've been doing this since, 9 a.m.?
Yep. NACA tourney time.
Oh, boy. Yep. That's where sleep, rest, and sanity all go out the window. But it is fun, I will say that.
And you can see those banners on the wall back there under the American flag. That's what it's all about here at NACA up here at Fort Bluff Camp in Dayton, Tennessee. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the broadcast. Hope you're enjoying your favorite team, favorite players.
There's a nice hit by Elizabeth Carter. And a 10-8 lead here for Reynolds Mountain in set 1.
So is this the first look you've had at Heritage today, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Matter of fact, we're going to end up by the 8:45 game tonight. We got every single game in this group. So I think it was 6 games.
So these ladies are getting some serious airtime.
That's right.
As there are games going on all over the area. Only the ones here at the home of NACA, the headquarters, as it were, Fort Bluff Camp, home of NACA, are being live broadcast. But there's volleyball games in this tournament going on right now all across the area here in East Tennessee, here in Ray County, all around Dayton, Tennessee.
I think 10 or 11 facilities being used for volleyball.
And you might say Dayton, Tennessee. That sounds vaguely familiar. Well, we're just north of Chattanooga, and we're home of the world's most famous court trial in the Scopes trial, a.k.a. the Monkey trial, where Williams Jennings Bryan battled it out with Clarence Darrow over teaching evolution in schools.
I've been to that thing. It's
You've been to the
museum
thing?
The
museum, sure.
It's been
they've redone it. They've just redone it, so you should go back.
It's been a decade.
They put a major facelift on the museum and visitor center here in the summer during the time of the trial. During the time of the year of the trial, which was in early July, very hot back then, as it still is now. You can see that with all the fans that they use. This place was just really a circus, and ultimately it was really a publicity stunt, organized by some key community members to bring business to Dayton. But it was also a place somewhere. There was going to be some place that was going to that court case was going to be tried one way or another. So basically, John Scopes, the teacher, everyone agreed, and they had it out. And, the William Jennings Bryan, who is, strangely enough now, he's known as the father of the modern Democratic Party, strong Christian and great orator. And Bryan College was founded shortly after his passing, which he passed shortly after the trial. Here in Dayton.
That's about the only thing I know about Dayton, Tennessee. I mean, I know a few things since I've come down here, but as far as things that I probably should know, that's about it. Here's McClendon. My goodness. That was a really nice set on the far side. Alina hammered that in, and it's now tied at 13, and we have a timeout.
It's also home to Lake Chickamauga. We share Lake Chickamauga with Chattanooga, and Lake Chickamauga was just named Bassmasters #2 bass fishing destination in basically in the country / in the world. They really just focus on America.
I'll say this too. I think Chattanooga is vastly underrated.
It's
as a city. The downtown area. And I've been there numerous times, coming to these events, and it's really cool. And there's it's not a huge place, but that 8 or 10 block area in downtown Chattanooga is actually really cool.
It really is. It really is.
So, and by the way, one of my favorite restaurants in the country is down there.
And I still haven't been. You're talking about the biscuit
Yeah,
factory?
Maple Street Biscuit Company. Oh,
gotcha.
my goodness. That's ridiculous. So McClendon to serve here, and there is an ace. Make it 14-13, the lead for Reynolds Mountain. And I've been there probably half a dozen times. There is always a line out the door. Always. You have trouble finding a seat in there, especially if you go in the morning. So Reynolds Mountain will play it here, set to the outside. Boy, there's a nice hit, and there's a ricochet, which will end up being 2 hits. So the kill for Hannah Kendall. Make it 15-13. And now Alina McClendon with another serve. And that'll end up being another ace, so 16-13. It's just so difficult because she not only can serve with power, but she also has the ability to pick spots on the floor to go to and kind of make you work a little bit. So
it's really that extra juice on the ball that she can put on it. They're really struggling.
Well, and she also, if you watch her a little bit, I mean, the ball comes off. It's when you're a lefty, the ball comes off a little bit different anyway. So that spin and the movement on the ball is different from what most people are used to seeing. Because
those lefties, they just
you can see it right there.
Got
it just
such
kind of
an
spins
advantage on the bowling lanes, on the golf courses, on a lot of pitchers. Those darn lefties, they.
But she has a lot of movement on her serve. See it again.
Sure
there it is again. I mean, yeah, it's just effective. Then returned back into the net. So 18-14 is the lead now for Reynolds Mountain.
The ball was really teed up for a good block, but just couldn't finish.
So Heritage with an opportunity here, and that's set a little bit too far behind Garcia there on the far side. It'll be 19-14. So Kendall's serve here. Play now back into the middle and put across by Gutierrez. Set back near side. Now Garcia just kind of puts it over. Lengthy rally here, back to the middle. And that's really nice placement. That's the third or fourth time today that Gabby Sawyer has just come up to the net, identified an open spot on the floor, and put it there. Not overpowering as a hitter, but just intelligent. 2014. And an ace here, served up by Hannah Kendall. Make it 21-14. Come back in the near side, make that 22-14. Actually, it looked like that might have been pretty well set up for a hit.
Take another look.
That's actually a really decent backside, just kind of the footwork a little off. And that hit out of bounds. So 23-14. Reynolds Mountain trying to close in on set one victory. And this track down. And now sent over by Tehran. Back to the middle. And again, putting it on the near sideline is Sawyer. Now 24-14 and set point. Serve from Kendall. Now play to the outside. That hit out of bounds, and that'll do it for set one. 25-14 is the win for Reynolds Mountain. Take a break, come back with set two in a moment. You're watching the NACA National Tournament.
International University is a Christian university located in the heart of Winston-Salem, a city known for arts and innovation in central North Carolina. Piedmont offers over 50 areas of study that include biblical studies, ministry, education, music and worship, sign language, counseling, and also features 5-year accelerated bachelor's and master's degree programs. Piedmont was ranked as the #2.
Can one choice change a life? When it's a big choice like choosing a college, it's safe to say yes. Put yourself in the shoes of a new student. You want teachers you can really learn from, classes you look forward to, friends who share your faith, and times you won't forget. But more than that, you want a college that prepares you to serve God with your life. Pensacola Christian College offers all this and more. Come see what a Christ-centered campus is like during college days at Pensacola Christian College. Visit pcci.edu for more info.
Educating students.
Educating students.
To become servants of Christ. Servants of Christ.
Para llegar a ser servidores de Cristo.
To make a difference in today's world.
Faire une différence dans le monde d'aujourd'hui.
Einen Unterschied in der heutigen Welt zu machen.
Fazer uma diferença no mundo de hoje.
تغيبتي دنيا داي روزا.
Мы можем изменить сегодняшний мир.
All right, John, we're about to get this party started here in the second set.
Yep. Reynolds Mountain took set one relatively easily. In the middle of the first rally of set two. And a nice play at the net. Reaching over and tipping that back down is Hannah Kendall. And a 1-0 lead for Reynolds Mountain. Serve here is an ace and a 2-0 lead. And this is the problem for Heritage because Reynolds Mountain always has that setup where McClendon is that first server. And if you can't figure out a way to get around that, you find yourself down 6 or 7 points quick. That's actually a really nice up there from Heritage. And it ends up falling in. So that's what you need. If you're Heritage, you need to get rid of McClendon's serve as quickly as possible so that you can kind of stick around for a while. 2-1 is the lead. Now for Reynolds Mountain is Heritage will serve. Nice little tip across there by Yanaris Gutierrez. And Veronica Fernandez to serve.
So, Heritage, where are they exactly in Florida, if you don't mind me asking?
The home of, well, I guess, yeah, Disney World's right there, right? Kissimmee?
Oh, Orlando. Yeah.
In Kissimmee, Florida, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's on the southern end of Orlando. It's kind of basically a suburb of Orlando. So 3-2 is the lead here for Reynolds Mountain.
And just look at those banners on the wall. Those will be awarded the close of the tournament.
So Hannah Kendall with an ace there, making it now 4-2 as she'll continue to serve. And an ace makes it 5-2. So again, Reynolds will get set to serve with a lead already. That one's put back down. Now Heritage to play it again, and that is out of bounds. So 6-2 the lead. Kendall serve.
Good looking serve by Kendall.
And that put back into the corner. Really nice placement once again by Gabby Sawyer. Watch where she puts this volleyball. Boy, that's good work. So good at picking out open spots on the floor. 7-2 is the lead here for Reynolds Mountain. Trying to come back in the middle. This sent across. On the outside. And boy, good hustle. And then it's shot out of bounds off the hands of Gutierrez. But Heritage really trying to get after it. It's an 8-2 lead for Reynolds Mountain. Kendall serve. Taken to the outside and bumped across. And that hit out of bounds by Kristen Williams. 8-3 the lead now for Reynolds Mountain. In case you're wondering why I'm not calling them by their mascots, it's because everyone is the Eagles.
Very popular mascot we find here.
If you want to just guess, that's just what somebody's mascot is. If you guess Eagles, you're right about 75% of the time. Matter of fact, my school back home is the Eagles.
And our
the
school
in
here.
Your high school here is the Eagles. Both of these teams are the Eagles.
Are they just the Eagles? That's what I need to know. Are they just the Eagles? Because your team is the Screaming Eagles, which is that's fun. It's
a
fun,
little bit different.
Exciting. I like it. I really like it. We're the Golden Eagles because we've had in there since early 70s.
So is that school basically like a co-op? Or is it like the entire county goes to one?
It is. The entire county goes to that one school. And there's a lot of mountains around here, so those buses go from...
I was going to say, that's got to be a trip for some kids.
Yeah, so fortunately the school is located in the center of the county. So we're on Dayton, and that's the south end of Ray County, and then Spring City, of course, is the north end with... that's... Wattsbar Lake up there. It's a little bit more for recreational, and then they have their mountain area up there as well. Beautiful mountains and Wattsbar Lake recreational. Lake Chickamauga, of course, is recreational. When I say recreational, more skiing and family fun. Out there. Lake Chickamauga, of course, has its share of that, but there's a lot of big bass and lots of grass, is like they like to say. So those bass really like that, and so it's a fisherman's paradise here, and outdoorsman's paradise as well in this beautiful mountain.
Well, 9-6 is the lead for Reynolds Mountain. Serve here from Heritage, played up front. Now Heritage. Play it again, back in the middle. And that hit into the net by Elizabeth Carter. Make it now 9-7. Good footwork, just kind of mistimed it a little bit. Back in the middle, and that hit out of bounds by Gabby Sawyer, and boy, has this been a run for Heritage. It was looking like this was going to be a blowout early on, but all of a sudden it's 9-8.
These young ladies have had a good drive right up from Florida. Happy to have those ladies and also Reynolds Mountain, of course, from North Carolina. So glad to have all of these teams coming and visit with us.
So this sent to the outside and just pushed across by Garcia. Tip back over, and Heritage will do it again. Near side, and another kill. I believe that hit the floor. It sure looked like it did. And so Caitlin Nieves will get the kill. Now a 10-9 lead for Reynolds Mountain. Serve here playing on the near side, and McClendon fires and scores. And that's the problem for Heritage, is once Alina McClendon gets back to the front row, you got to cycle her out.
Right there.
Yep.
Here they come.
And even that hit the top of the net.
It did.
So that's out of bounds. That'll make it 11-10. And on the flip side of that, for Reynolds Mountain, you have to take advantage of when she's in the front row. I mean, you really don't want to have service errors and things like that, because when she rotates up there, you need to take advantage of that.
She makes her presence known.
Yep. Like I said, she's not the most physically imposing player in the tournament. She's only 5'6". She's not a big, imposing physical type of player, but she's smart. She knows how to time her jump.
Girls got game.
Yep. She knows how to time her jump. She knows how to make her serves count. Just top to bottom, she's a phenomenal player. And, you know, as a team, you got to take advantage of those kind of things. Tied at 11 here in set 2. Heritage has done a really nice job in this second set of working their way back in. I mean, give them credit. I think it was 9-2 or something at one point. And they really got back into this quickly. That service out of bounds. Make it 12-11. So back to serve for Reynolds Mountain is Elizabeth Carter. Return back up front, and an ace will make it 13-11. And now, if you're Heritage, you have to deal with not only McClendon in the front row, but also Hannah Kendall, which, man, was a hit out of bounds. So 13-12. So if you're played up front off the near side, McClendon will get credit for a kill there, although that probably is going to go out of bounds if they let it go. Make it now 14-12. But that's easier said than done, by the way, when you're in the back row and a ball's coming whistling at you and you have to make a split-second decision. It's not always easy to do. And now McClendon back and serving, and we've seen how that's been a problem here this afternoon. She gets an ace again, and it's 15-12, and this is the area where if she gets 4 or 5 in a row, now you're in serious trouble again. It's already won. Let's see what Alina does here. And that is a service error. And that helps Heritage out big time because that'll make it 15-13.
And get her off the back. Get her
gets her off the front row and off the serve. So and this is where you need to make a run if you're Heritage. Good bump set on the near side. I mean, I don't think people appreciate how difficult that is to do.
Yeah, we'll take another look at that. That was a good high bump set.
That's just beautiful. Kendall with a nice hit. Elizabeth Jordan has done a very nice job for Reynolds Mountain. Sent across. That's hit out of bounds. And Heritage will now make it 16-14. And again, this set kind of right there for Heritage. It's things that kind of worked their way here in the second set. And they just have to take advantage of a couple of things. So back in the middle and just put across. And that will eventually fall in. 17-14 is the lead for Reynolds Mountain. And again, that's a byproduct of Elizabeth Jordan's bump set. Whenever you give somebody that much time to kind of, because the set goes up, you're locating that, but you're also looking at the other side of the floor, and it gives them plenty of time to kind of pick a spot.
Sure, good point. Good point.
It's, again, that's a very difficult thing to do on a consistent basis. There's a nice hit on the far side by Elizabeth Carter, make it 18-14.
Good serve. Barely cleared the net.
Yeah, that's Kristen Williams. Makes it 19-14. She'll continue to serve, and there's the timeout for Heritage. 19-14 a lead for Reynolds Mountain. Take a quick break. We'll come back with more of the second set here in just a moment. Serve here, played back on the near side, and just out of bounds. On the hit by Caitlin Nieves. 2014. Serve here, tracked down. Bumped over by Garcia. Back row that hit into the net by Williams. Make it 20-15. Maria Camila Espejo Garcia to serve. I hope I'm at least coming close on that name. I may or may not be. I apologize if I'm not, but I figured I'd give it a shot anyway. 21-15 off that kill.
She did take a spiel. A little slow getting up on this one. She's going to be able to shake it off.
So that is Garcia. So still talking with her a little bit. I think everybody's back and ready to go. Serve here from Lael, back to the outside. Garcia will put it across. And that's set to McClendon. And I don't know if that was just a little bit off in the jump or maybe the timing of the set or something there. That just didn't look quite right, and it'll be 21-16.
You know, this is a great time to encourage you, if you haven't already, to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you're probably already subscribed to our YouTube channel, but if you're not, go ahead and check that and make sure you are so you don't miss any championship action from NACA Sports on YouTube.
And that rolls in from Elizabeth Carter. 22-16. And there's an ace. Served up by Elizabeth Jordan. 23-16. As Katie Foley will check in here for Reynolds Mountain. And again, Jordan with the serve. There's another ace. 24-16. I'm telling you, she's a very underrated player.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on her as this tournament develops.
Telling you, she's, you know, the hitters and all that get a lot of the attention, but she's done a great job setting, and she's a very good server.
And it's hard for those hitters to really help get a good rally going if they don't have that consistent server and get in their position where they need to be for as long as possible.
Yep, and you can't hit the ball consistently without a good set either. That was another good set, and to Hannah Kendall's credit, she was trying to work that look here, that far side line. You can see her kind of turn her body because there's nobody over there, but just
it almost
missed it a little.
Might have had a hand on that, deflected out of bounds, but my eyes aren't good enough to make that call. Plus, I'm staring at a small screen here and the game. Oh,
well,
I like that move. That's
volleyball.
She tried to, yeah. Look at here. Look at here.
Kicked it off the wall. I didn't see that. I didn't see the. I'm not where I could see that angle. Playing up front, tipped across and down, and that'll do it. Off a nice play by Jordan to end it.
I'm going to dial this one back for you, John.
See that right there, picking a spot and just setting it there. And Reynolds Mountain takes two from Heritage. The last one, 25-18. Now, if you're here to watch Reynolds Mountain, just stay right where you're at.
Yeah, hang on. It'll be we'll create a new stream for you, but just hang loose, and it'll come up right back up on our YouTube channel. Let you know that but just sit tight in front of your favorite device. If you're at home, if you have a smart TV, Fire Stick, Roku, something like that, all that fun stuff, just dial it up on YouTube and sit back in your, lazy boy and tune in on your big screen if possible.
So it's Reynolds Mountain and Pathway, the last game of the day portion of our schedule. We'll get there in just a little bit, about 12 minutes or so before we get that game underway. So we'll wrap this up and then we'll create that one. You've been watching the NACA National Championship Tournament.